Hello, my name is Dr. Samantha Wellsping. I'm a naturopathic physician here in Colorado, and I'm also the CEO and creator of Wild Fed, and we make a non-GMO horse feed and organic herbal supplements for horses and dogs. And I wanted to take a couple moments to talk about our supplement Breathe Freely today. The reason being is particularly with all the fires happening in the West, we found it's very helpful for that, and so I want to describe a little how it was designed and how it works. It was designed to treat Heaves, which is a non-infectious respiratory condition, which is triggered by some type of allergen. That could be mold, dust, smoke. There's a whole host of things that could trigger it, but it's not an infectious process like a cold or a flu or a virus, bacteria. And this the body overreacts to this stimulus, this allergic trigger, and creates a bunch of mucus, and also the small airways start to constrict, and it doesn't allow for the normal passage of air, so horses can begin to have difficulty breathing. And often the first symptom is actually a cough, and then it can develop to increased respiratory rate, flaring of the nostrils, wheezing, and it can be really, really challenging for horses. Ideally, you would remove the trigger and hopefully the symptoms would resolve on their own. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes the body just gets so hyper responsive that even when you remove the trigger, it's still kind of doing its reaction, and it needs a little bit more help than that. And also, sometimes you can't identify the trigger, or if you do identify the trigger, it's not something that's easily removed. I've definitely talked to clients that live on a busy roadway, and they it's their house, they don't really have another option to move the horse, or it would be really difficult, and that can be very challenging. Another common source is mold in the hay. So if that's the case, it's good to have your hay tested and rule that out. Sometimes it's mold in the barn, and identifying where it is can be really helpful. Sometimes it's dust, and gosh, that is really challenging. In a barn with horses, how do you monitor the dust? So needless to say, there's an allergic trigger, there's this hyper responsiveness, and then the horse has these symptoms. Now, what we're noticing is with all these fires happening in the West, in California and Oregon, there's a lot of smoke, and horses are having a lot of respiratory issues. And not only in California and Oregon, but it's traveling. I'm in Colorado, and we have smoke here that's traveled all the way. So there's a lot of horses really being affected by this right now. And we found that our Breathe Freely formula is really helpful. And how it helps is it calms the immune system. So it calms that hyper responsiveness. It helps to modulate the immune system. And it also helps to reduce the spasms. You can have spasms in the lung. It reduces mucus, and it also helps with a little bit of the pain, and definitely calms the cough. So I have a client in Bozeman, Montana, who said that the smoke is so thick there that the mountains are only 2 miles away, but she can't see them. And her horses all started coughing. She has 4 horses, and they all started coughing, and she started giving the Breathe Freely, and the cough resolved fairly shortly. So I just wanted to offer this as a potential option for anyone who's having horses with any respiratory distress right now. And it's a really nice product. It's all organic herbs, and you can find it at our website at wildfedhorse.com. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out either via email or telephone, and we love talking to our customers and answering any questions you might have. So sending lots of prayers to the West Coast that the fires just resolve and horses are safe and they're able to recover.